What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a hoot and a holler. But listen, I know it sounds like I'm losing my voice. I am, all right? This is the best condition my voice has been in like 3 days. So we're taking advantage of it and making this video before it's too late and I can never speak again. Before I dive into that, there's a couple things I need to mention. First off, go follow me on Twitch, baby. We stream almost every day. Hey, drop your Prime sub. It costs you no money if you get the free trial. Hey, show some love. You know what it is. Follow me on Twitch. Tune into the streams. You've been streaming on Twitch a lot more than YouTube lately, so if you guys have been missing the streams, pull up on Twitch. Don't miss out, baby. It's a hoot over there. Also, get your hands on your Goblin merch if you still need it. Holiday Drop is live once again for everyone who is interested. Link for the Twitch and the merch drop will be at the very top of the description. Go get your merch. Go follow me on Twitch. It's urgent. Now, without further ado, let's dive right into the topic. So, buying weed from a subscriber. Now, I've done this a few times, but this is the most recent instance of it. The first time I did this, I'm pretty sure I have a video about it, and it was back when I was in Boston, which was ages ago. But I've done this multiple times since then, and this is the most recent and probably most desperate instance of it. So, this took place, of course, back in, I believe it was maybe late November of last year, and this was right after Josh and Cody had both moved out of my house, right? For those of you guys who aren't up to date on the backstory of that, I was living with a couple roommates, and one of my roommates was kind of our house car. I owned a car as well, but it was broken down, right? And it was kind of a shit bucket. But one of our roommates decided to just pack all his shit and leave with the car one day, right? And basically kidnap my other roommate. It was whole crazy story, not for this video. But basically, I was fucked, right? But one day, towards the end of November, I got my hands on a new car that wasn't broken down, my Volvo. The first thing I thought of doing is like, yo, I need some weed. But I realized really quickly, now both of my roommates are gone. The neighbor, I just did not want to fold for. Relations with the neighbor had gotten very bad at this point. He really hated me. He did not like me. That's also for another video. But either way, I was not knocking on the neighbor's door like I had in the past. So I went to Instagram, of course. I go on Instagram and I post on my story and I'm like, yo, is anyone in my area that has weed? And of course, I get some replies, right? Mostly it's just people DMing me like pictures of their weed and they're like, yo, Goblin, I'm in fucking Lithuania. You should slide sometime. Or they're like, just some crazy place that I'm never ever going to be at. Like motherfuckers will be at DM me and be like, man, Goblin, you got to check out this Rhode Island smoke, bro. Check it out. Come slide, G. Like, hey, for sure, bro. I'm en route, dude. Never happening. But either way, I sift through those DMs, and eventually I arrive at a DM from a guy who says he's in a town that's about 30 or 40 minutes out from me. And I was so desperate that I was down to drive that far for even the smallest amount of weed. Now, mind you, at this point, my license was suspended. My plates on my car weren't valid. They belonged to the previous owner. So if I got pulled over, this car was bye-bye. I mean, the suspended license, even if it wasn't suspended, this car was still bye-bye. I had no insurance. It was an absolute mess of a situation. But I was fiending, right? I was fiending really hard. I had exhausted all my options for plugs. No one was able to serve me that day. The normal people who I'd grabbed weed off of down there, because this was also prior to the legalization, and this was prior to me getting my med card. So I was still just buying off plugs, right? But I was getting desperate. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to drive this 40 minutes to this random viewer and buy some weed. So I get dressed, I grab my house keys, grab my phone, grab my wallet, and I go hop in my car. I have a 1991 Volvo 240, and I actually still have it. I don't drive it anymore, but I still have it. It's still in my garage. But either way, I go hop in my car, and I hit the road. And I stop at the ATM, and this dude's serving me an eighth, right? He's got a little eighth for me. I'm like, how much? Deep down, I'm like, yo, I hope he hooks me up with the Goblin deal, dude. But at the same time, he probably pictures me as like, listen, a lot of you guys have this image of me as like, yo, he's got a couple 100,000 subs, dude. This guy's balling. Dude, last year I lived in a house with no stove, dude. It was bad. Listen, dude, y'all think I'm hooping like that. All right, calm down, especially at this point in my life. There was no hoop. Listen, I was 0 for 30 on the shots. All right, it was not good. No hoops being made. But either way, so I'm in my car and I go and I pull out the money and I ask him how much for the eighth. And I'm hoping like, yo, dude, I hope he hooks me up with this deal. But of course, he asked for $40. And I'm not, it's a viewer. So I'm not going to sit here and negotiate prices. I'm just going to be like, you know what? Whatever, And I knew it wasn't going to be the greatest weed, but I pulled up nevertheless. So I cruise over and I get on the highway. And once I'm on the highway, there's cops everywhere, bro. I mean, the town I was driving to I was going from bumfuck nowhere to bumfuck nowhere. So the state troopers have nothing better to do than just stop you for any minor infraction. So I'm paranoid, bro. I'm constantly checking my rear view. If I see any headlights that look like they're too bright bluish, that they might be a Fed light, I'm hitting that exit. I was sick of it, bro. And I'm cruising along, and there was hella people pulled over. Even though it was only like a 40-minute drive, I saw like 3 separate people stopped, dude. It was crazy. But I cruise on the highway, and my faithful little Volvo makes it to this guy's town, right? So I cruise into town, I stop at a gas station, I fill up. And I hit this dude up on Instagram again, and I'm like, yo, bro, I'm like 10 minutes out, just be ready for me. And he's like, oh, bet. Sounds good. So I'm cruising on over there, right? I get my gas, I'm chilling. I go in the gas station, I got something to drink, and I dip out, right? I skedaddle. I go over to this dude's house. And also at this point, I had not turned 21 yet. So I also couldn't buy myself blunts. So it kind of sucked. But anyway, we'll get to that later. So I cruise over to this guy's house, all right? And I text him that I'm here. And this dude comes out with, I assume it was his little brother. Because, like, one dude was way younger than the other dude. Like, the guy with the bud was older. And then there was some younger guy who came out with him, I'm just going to assume it was his brother. I don't really know. I don't really remember if they told me or not. But either way, these 2 dudes come out of this house. And they're like, yo, they're all like, they're kind of hyped to see me and stuff. And I always feel weird. Listen. I've bumped into viewers quite a few times, right? You guys have bumped into me in public a fair chunk of times, like probably over a dozen times, right? And every time it's always like weird for me. Like, I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like, if you ever see me in public, please approach me, But like, also, like, it's always like, it's just a weird feeling, Like, I don't know, bro. Just having someone come up and be like, yo, are you the internet crackhead? And, it's just like, yeah. But like, fuck, dude, that's weird, But like, yeah, that's me. But anyway. So they come up and they're like, yo, Goblin, I'm like, what's up? And the first thing this kid says, look, he bakes me, dude. The first thing he says, he looks at my car and he's like, why'd you pull up in this fucking beater? And man, hey, that one stung a little bit, man. I said, hey, listen, man, hey, we're working with what we got nowadays, baby. Hey, resourcefulness, hey. I'm driving this bad boy till the wheels fall off, and that I did. I drove it until it stopped running. Still in my garage. I could probably get it running again with like a battery and some spark plugs, honestly. But either way, back on topic here. So these kids are baking my car a little bit. They're like, oh, damn, I expected you to have a nicer car. And I'm like, oh, well, I mean, what do you want from me, dude? So I hand this kid the money, and he hands me the eighth. Now, listen, I love my viewers, okay? No disrespect to these gentlemen. I don't really remember their real names, so like there's no way I could possibly rat them out, right? But listen, gentlemen, they sold me mid. Ladies and gentlemen, it was popcorn nug mid, but I was so desperate I didn't care. The nugs, like the actual bud wasn't horrible. It was just the smallest nugs I'd ever seen, bro. I didn't even give a shit at this point, bro. I was just like, whatever, bro. Fucking count me in. I'm down, dude. I dapped the guy up and I'm chatting with him a little bit, and they asked for pictures with me. And that threw me off because I don't think I'd ever had someone ask me for a picture, like ever. That was the first time I'd ever taken like a picture with a viewer, So it was kind of weird, bro. But I was like, all right, let's pose for the picture. Low key, it was awkward because I was like, okay, like I'm trying to pose with this dude like he's my homie, So like I got my arm over his shoulder, but like dude was kind of like hesitant to like put his arm back around me, and I'm like, well, this is just gonna look like a weird picture, it's gotta be like a homie, group pic, but like otherwise it's just finna look weird, but either way, we snapped a couple pictures, one with the one dude and one with like his younger brother, whoever it was, I don't know. Then I hopped back in my beater and they giggled away as I cruised off in my shit bucket, dude. And after that, I hop back on the highway and I'm riding back. And I've got my butt on me and I'm happy as can be, bro. I'm happy-go-lucky, right? And I'm cruising back. And on the way back, the highway ride back was fine. But I get off the highway and there's this gas station that's really sketchy. It's a gas station that has no name. It just has a sign that says gas and food, okay? It's horrifying, honestly. And every time you can't go here at night. I learned this the hard way. You can't go to this gas station at night because the homeless people will come up and they'll touch you. They'll walk up to you even if you park at the pump. They'll go right up to your car and they'll put their hands on your shoulder and ask for money. So the sun's going down and I'm like, fuck, this is the only place in town that doesn't card for swishers. Like, I got to get here quick, right? So I speed, bro. I get off the highway. I fly over to, classic old gas and food. And the crackheads, they were still hibernating. The sun hadn't gone down yet. So I wasn't going to get hassled, right? So I run on in there. I'm like, holy fuck. And mind you, this is before COVID and everything. So listen, motherfuckers are deep at this gas station, right? I run on in there and I grab my pack of Swishers and dip, dude. I hit the crib and I was so happy to be smoking. I've been fiending so hard all day. I cherish that blunt. I remember that 8. I made that shit stretch, bro. Listen, that period of my life, the last 3 months of 2019 were struggle mode, bro. It was back to the old days of smoking 0.5 blunts, baby. But we're back at it now. We're back to smoking big blunts now. But hey, really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please drop a like if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And follow me on Twitch. What are you waiting for? You're kind of tweaking if you haven't yet. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, gamers.